Welcome to Lifestyle by SK, where wine, cigars, and relationships create the tapestry of extraordinary experience. And I just was having some thoughts about some things is do we actually blame our parents for our failures in life? And it is so easy for us to fall down that path because when you really think about it, for people out there who may not have their mothers or their fathers in their life, it's very difficult sometimes for you to just feather the understanding of there's a point where you need to move on. You got to grow up and move on. Now, while it will be nice for every young man to have his father in his life, that may not always be the case because parents go through things that kids are not supposed to understand. As much as we want to understand, you're not supposed to understand because their relationship problems has nothing to do with you because you didn't ask to specifically be here. But I'm bringing this particular story up because I was listening to a video and this woman had both of her parents at home and she was mad that her dad did not give her the lifestyle that she wanted. And I start to focus on the want, okay? There's so many people out here who who are in a single parent home and they want both their parents to be together. And there's a reason why your parents are not together. But there's also a reason why you should not be failing in life. Young men, if you are so focused on why your father is not in your life instead of trying to focus on how you can better your relationship with him, you're the problem. You're going to always be the problem because you could have had ideas tainted in your head of people giving you false narratives, people telling you not telling you the full story, and then you have a bad view on your dad. And it's helpful. It creates the balance in the relationship aspect because that young man is going to pull that going to pull that masculine energy from his dad. He's going to pull that energy from his mother and how he's supposed to treat, like how women are supposed to respond to certain things. Under no circumstance should that little boy be pulling feminine energy from his mom because that's not his nature. That's what the his sister is supposed to be doing. His sister is supposed to be in communication with the aunties, the grandmas, the female cousins. They're supposed to be at least on the in the perfect world having an understanding of what it's like to be a wife and them training the young women how to be wives in relationships. Just under the same token, at the same exact time as they're growing up, that the young men are looking at the granddads, the uncles, the cousins, the male cousins who are in fulfilling marriages, teaching them how to be a husband. They're not going to get the whole handbook. They may be trained 80 to 85% of the way, and that other 15 to 20% is based on your real life experience. You have to reach a certain point in life where you got to just let things go. You got to let things go and start to build a relationship with your fathers if they are still here. You're going to have to take the good and also take the bad as well. But we, how can young men be fulfilling and be the head of households and relationships when they can't even be the head of the issues that they are causing and self-inflicting on themselves by the absence of their fathers. And see, we're not ready to truly understand why the fathers are even absent in the first place. But what we can do as young men is understand and tell yourself, I do not want to put myself in the same position in which how my dad did. Because the thing that can hurt a father the most is when they see their sons is operating better in life than what they are. They begin to feel that guilt and they begin to understand, you know what, he's doing better than me. He's moving forward in life better than me. That's where we're at right now. We have to figure this out because how can you be a good husband if you can't even control and understand the hard points in life and how to deal with them? Because that woman, before y'all start having kids, that woman is going to wonder, is he going to be a good father? Is he going to be a good husband? Who has trained him? Who has he been hanging around coming up? And see, a lot of young men in these days and young people in general are so caught up in fame and fortune, social media. They're so caught up in it, they don't understand the basics of life. How many how many of you young men know how to actually change a flat tire without calling AAA? How many of young men know how to operate a saw? How many young men know how to fix a basic appliance in the house? There are just some things that you're going to have to learn, but you can learn that with the other male figures around. I don't care if it's your stepdad that's around you or whatever, but you can't be the husband of somebody's daughter if you can't even get your point together your own self. Stop blaming your parents for your problems. Get over it. It's time for you to get over it. This isn't a blame game. This is the opportunity for you to actually change and figure out, you know what? I understand that my dad wasn't around and he didn't do this and that. How can I be a better man? You can be a better man by forgetting the past that has nothing to do with you and moving forward. Mothers, don't ever stop that young man from having a relationship with his father. The problems that you all have is your problems. It is very important for every young man on the face of this planet to know that they have a father out there. They have to understand that. It's nothing like growing up not understanding how much that you miss the presence of your dad in your life because other people have been feeding negative thoughts into your head. Because I want this message to reach young men out there so they can become even better versions of themselves. And whether they make it to from blue collar to white collar, whatever level that they're on, whatever they choose to do in life that's going to be respectable, that they do very well at it. From the brothers out here that's doing construction to the brothers in the boardrooms, there shouldn't be much more of a difference in their mentality in knowing that they can actually become responsible and respectable husbands to somebody's daughter. Because we as men have to understand that our nephews, our cousins, our male cousins, we have to see when they doing wrong, we got to correct it because we don't want them going into a relationship like that. And ladies, y'all need to be on the young girls, teaching them how to dress, how to carry themselves, how to talk, how to sometimes just be quiet and just listen instead of trying to respond all the time. We have the biggest reasons of why we cannot get married, but we push the biggest ideas of being single and chasing a bag. What world have we gone into, you all? It looks as if we are just so lost. And it's crazy right now that you have more young men who don't want to get married, who much rather be single and rid themselves of any potential problems and afraid of divorce than we've ever had before. That we have a problem. But the first thing that we have to fix so that people can see the better for the best is fixing that nuclear family. That man and woman, their husband and wife, have to come together with one another, have to know that they are made for each other, have to create the family, and build a comfortable life. Every one of you out there is not going to be wealthy. Every one of you is not going to be rich. Every one of you is not going to get the biggest bag. Every one of you is not going to be high value. Some people are going to have to be creators. Some people are going to have to be consumers. Wherever you fit in that narrative, you're going to have to find your spot and you're going to have to be the absolute best at it. Ladies, Many of you are not going to get the type of men that you want. Many of you are going to end up with brothers who may be blue collar. That is fine. Very few of you are going to get brothers who are white collar, who are the boardroom type guys. That's just the reality of it. But we got to get ourselves straightened out first. Let's get the young men straightened out. Let's make sure that they are out in public. They're presenting themselves the correct way. Their pants are pulled up. Let's make sure that is going on. So when somebody sees that young man and one of their friends say, you know what, I have a respectable friend who I think that you would be a good fit with, and let them rock it out together. But we keep blaming, oh, it's the women's fault out here. The men need to correct the men. The women need to correct the women. Once we get both sides straight, and if we understand that we want to build a family together, then we come together and start solving the issues together. But until then, we got a lot of work to do. But like, listen, subscribe to the channel, Lifestyle by SK, where wine, cigars, relationships, creative tapes, extraordinary experience. You all have a good one.